Hi, everyone. It's Kelly from the Hub here today with our friend Roberta, who is the
Hello.
person who knows all the stuff about end-of-life planning at WellSpan. Hello, friend.
Hello, Kelly.
How are you?
Beautiful, beautiful summer day again.
I
We
gotta
had that little
say,
bit of fall, but Mother Nature just needs a little more summer, a whole week of it. So I'm just loving every minute of it.
well, I went outside to do a little work because I was like, take advantage while you can, because pretty soon it's going to be rainy and 55.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when it's sunny and 64, make it happen. So
beautiful.
we
It's
did it.
gorgeous out.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be punished by having it 30 below with 6 feet of snow in January.
Okay, so I love that weather, so I'm super excited for that too. I won't be sitting outside, but
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah.
So we are talking about the hello game today.
We are.
And so we've talked sort of about what it is, but we've never talked about it in detail. So this is all you. What is this game and how do you use it to help bring your family together?
So, in our culture, in our society in the United States, and in many places around the world, we don't like talking about death and dying at all. It is such a taboo subject, it's such a difficult subject. So, the company called Common Practice, that's based in Philadelphia, years and years ago created a game called The Gift of Grace
Hmm.
to make it easier because games just make it easier about anything.
Yeah.
And you can laugh, you can cry, you can giggle, you can be amazed. And so they created just this little box called the Hello Game. $20, I think, maybe 25. So essentially, this little booklet of 33 questions is $5.
Huh.
So you get 4 or 5 people to sit around a table, and you buy a box and you have your little booklet, and there's questions, 33 questions in it. So this becomes your own book. And then,
Oh,
because it's a game, you also get little chips.
cool.
Now, these are marked thank you. So these are really gratitude chips. So you and I are going to play this game.
Okay.
And if you say something incredible, or you say something that, oh, I never thought about it that way, and I want to give you or if you have a lot of courage and you share something
Oh,
painful
yeah,
or insightful,
yeah.
then I want to give you a chip. And at
Oh,
the end of the game, we toss a coin, and if it's heads, the person with the most chips wins. If it's tails, the person with the least chips wins. So we don't even know how and who could possibly win. So everybody has their little book,
okay.
and you go around the table. So everybody reads a question. So this game really is to help us think about things around death and dying, but really things about the quality of our life that we'd want, the
Yeah.
things that bring meaning to our life. So the first question is, write down any fears you have about playing this game. So I would read that, and then all of us would write down our answer before anyone talked.
In the book,
In the book.
because that's yours.
That's mine.
All right.
I've got my name on this book belongs to on the front.
Oh,
And
cool.
I'm going to write down my answer, and then I'm going to keep this.
Oh,
So, what are your fears
so
about playing this game?
one of my fears would be that I reveal things that no one's ever, that I've never really even been honest with myself about. And now I'm going to try to be honest with everybody else.
Judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that what I share might be judged and misunderstood. So probably similar in some ways
Yep.
to what you shared as well.
Yep. Right. Cause you never, like, what if you say something and everybody at your family goes, or whoever you're with goes,
Right.
oh, That's
Yeah.
what you want?
Yeah.
Instead of going, huh, who knew? Yeah,
Yeah.
you never want someone's eyebrows to come together like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So part of the rules of the game are keep everything confidential.
Yeah.
When you're playing with family, that's a little different. A lot of times I played this with a group of complete strangers and we've learned so much from each other.
And
But the other
sometimes
thing
that's
is
easier.
don't come with judgment, come
Yeah.
with understanding
Yeah.
and listen. So there's a whole set of kind of ground rules to help people stay centered in what this is about. And you can always pass. So if you don't want to answer the question, you don't have to. If you didn't want to answer that question, you could say, I'm just going to pass on that. So there's never, this is completely voluntary,
That's
never
cool.
forced. So, okay, you're going to read to me, write down any hopes you have about playing this game.
Oh.
So my hopes always are that I will experience more healing from the grief I carry around with me all the time. Because my mother's been gone since 2002. It wasn't a great family experience, so I carry around a whole lot of stuff. And my husband dying. I mean, his family still doesn't talk to me 14 years later, and I carry around a lot of stuff. So I'm hoping somebody will have had an experience that I'll hear about that'll help me. That's part of my hope, that I just keep growing and learning more about what I want for myself when I get to the point where I'm at the end of my life.
Hmm. Hmm. My hope is to have more clarity with my loved ones. So, and even if I'm not like in charge, that's not what I mean. I mean that I can be supportive of their wishes when they get to that place. So that I don't have to wonder, I can just be supportive even if I'm not in charge. Because then I can say, "Hey, remember what we said? Remember what she said about this? Remember what that's like?" And then be supportive to everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would. Yeah, that's what I would like.
So I love that, Kelly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Chip. There's your chip. So question number 8.
Okay.
What music do you want to be listening to on your last day alive?
My last day?
Your last day. What do you want to be listening to?
Okay. I sort of have a playlist for my funeral, sort of. And I think, I mean, it sort of, I mean, it'll depend, but I think I want to listen to like music that I like to sing with, that I like to sing along to,
Yeah.
because that always has been a way to make me feel better. So let's just say that, I mean, who knows? Because maybe I will just want like whale sounds. I don't know. But at this moment, when I'm thinking about it, I would like to have music that I sing along with.
Yeah. Yeah. I want Vivaldi's Four Seasons.
What? How have you picked that so specifically?
Because I absolutely adore Vivaldi's Four Seasons.
Okay.
It's what I play on Sundays. So on a regular basis, that's my Sunday music. And I'm no
Oh,
longer Christian. I'm a Buddhist. So, but there's also some chants that I would love. I have a whole blessings CD on Tibetan monks singing blessing chants. So probably a little bit of that, but you know, my partner thinks that's wailing at the moon. So
all
But it
right.
is for me, it's not for him. And you know, you're supposed to do what your loved one wants you to do, not what
Right.
you would want. Yes.
Right. Right. And well, do you think, okay, wait, I guess here's my question when you're playing the game, because I get so curious about other like things that I will want to ask more questions, but I don't want to do what, so part of me really likes to follow the rules and part of me doesn't really give a shit about the rules. So am I allowed to ask more questions?
Sure. I mean, it's a conversation. Now, you don't want to take the whole
Right.
hour
Right.
just going off on, you know, this or that.
Yeah.
But yeah, to get some more clarification of something that would be helpful to you,
Okay.
that you think would be helpful to the person.
Yeah.
So in one of the games, we had somebody that was having terrible difficulties with broken relationships. And one of the questions are, who haven't you talked with in more than 6 months that you would want to talk with before you died? That's question number 4. And so for that one, then those of us who had experienced that or knew of other people, we just said, well, tell us a little bit more. What would this work with that situation? And he would say, oh my God, no. Okay, so what about this? I did this with a friend of mine that I got estranged from.
Yeah.
Would that work?
Yeah.
So that kind of conversation that brings clarity or that brings help
Yeah. Yeah.
is where you want it to go.
Okay. All right. That's cool. That one, because I could see with that one, you might say what you might know exactly who it is, but you might not want to say it in the group.
Right.
Or you could say, whatever, you could say like a relationship. Oh, this person is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Or whatever, or not be able to, because that one might be hard to talk about.
But if you're also doing this in a family and you could say, Uncle Joe, I just wish we could see Uncle Joe one more time before anything happens to him. And I know it's going to be difficult, but maybe we should think about it now that we're thinking about, what are the things that we want to do before we die, before somebody else dies. So sometimes it can bring that kind of perspective to families too. This is a really powerful way for families to start that conversation when they don't know how to do it. So having a game, having a book in your hand, having prescripted questions that are
Because then you don't
already
have to
there.
think about it. You don't have to be like, oh,
Right.
what about
Now what do I say? That's where the conversation starter kit, that booklet, is also so valuable.
Yeah.
So here's one.
Okay.
If you needed help going to the bathroom today, who is the first person you would ask to help you? And who would you never be able to ask? Now, isn't that? Yeah. Now you got to think about embarrassment and frailty and
Right, but
I'm desperate.
Right.
I really. So let me think.
I would ask my husband or my mom. Okay, I would also ask, when I was doing birth center stuff and I hung out with midwives for a while, midwives don't care about any of that because their whole life is spent there. And so my midwife friends always made any conversation or whatever about any of those things south of the border totally comfortable. So I would love, but like before my mother or my husband, I would love one of my midwife friends to have to help me.
And see, would you have ever thought about that question?
Never in a million
Would
years.
you have ever planned? So now you can say, maybe I should pick one of those midwives and say, would you be willing to do this for me? When I'm not able to take care of myself, is this something that I could count on you for? And it doesn't have to be family. It can be just what you said.
Right.
Because with somebody that's that comfortable, that you wouldn't have that personal vulnerability with.
Right, because like
I think that's
my
what this
friends,
question is all about.
yeah, like I've hung out with those women, okay, this is gonna sound strange, like totally fully clothed and in like a bar and at like workshops and stuff. And I would have no problems because I know them the way I know them, for them to see me vulnerable and nude
Yeah,
because I trust what they do.
yeah, yeah,
Even though two-thirds, 9/10 of those women, I've never, two of them have seen me naked because they were my healthcare practitioners.
right, right. So
Who
that
would
might
I
be a
never?
possibility. But then think too, what if I can't feed myself? Who would feed me? What if I couldn't dress myself? Who would dress me? Who would I never want to have do that for me? Because I just would never feel comfortable with it.
My
Uh,
father. I would never feel comfortable with my father doing that.
yeah.
Just because, not anything else, just because I just like, that's that's not in his wheelhouse.
Well, but maybe it is. So
Huh, you're
maybe
right.
he would be one of the first people to say, that would be such a gift I could give to you, Kelly. I might be the third on your list, but put me as the third on your list because I would be honored to do that for you. Because it is an honor to serve the people you love.
Right. And just because I might not, I would feel that way because I think that's how he would feel,
Yeah, yeah,
rather than, you know what I mean? I made that decision because I'd be like, I don't think he wants, he doesn't want to do that. You know what I mean? And I could be totally wrong. You're right. I could be totally wrong.
yeah. And I want to tell you a story. So when my husband was in the hospital getting his Whipple procedure for pancreatic cancer, and he got the tubes out and everything, and he'd been in the hospital for 4 or 5 days. He desperately wanted a shower, and the nurse couldn't come in and do that. So we're husband and wife, we've
Right.
been intimate. I got undressed, I got in the shower, I bathed him from head to foot, and do you know, he said to me, that was the most precious, loving experience I have ever had. I was like, that wasn't him and I, husband and wife. That was me serving him with the most compassion I could have because he was completely vulnerable from that cancer.
And he needed you. Yeah.
He did. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. It's
And
okay.
so that's what happens in this game. You always have a box of tissues in the middle of the table because somebody, yeah, somebody will say something that triggers something else. And that's part of my fear too, is being that vulnerable to have something triggered and then cry when we all cry. We all should cry on things that are so beautiful. And so that would be a thing you could give me a chip
I was
for.
going to
So
say, that's a chip moment. Yeah. 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 Because, right. I mean, and I think that, because already we've done what, 2.5 questions, and we have laughed and cried.
yeah,
So we have already proved the point of what the whole game is about, and thought and talked about stuff that I wasn't on my list when I chat with my parents and my family about this. So we've already done that.
yeah. And this has been researched and researched and researched. And Hershey Medical Center, Penn State Medicine, did a very large research study on this with lots of different groups. So this works in different cultures.
Oh.
It works with young people and middle-aged and older people. They actually found that after someone plays the game all the way through, within about 3 months, 75% of those people will take the next step to actually create their advanced directives. Because there's a couple of questions about what are the 5 words you'd want on your epitaph? Who are the 3 people you'd want on the committee to make decisions for you?
Yeah.
What are the next steps you want to plan? What's the last meal you want to eat, and who do you want to have join you? If someone wanted to make a donation in your memory after you died, where would you like that donation to go and why?
Oh, that's good, because you may think of that, but if you never say those words, someone might give it to cat rescue instead of WHYY.
Yeah.
I mean, not
So
that there's anything wrong or with it, but you know.
That's it. That's it. And so there's all these questions, if you were diagnosed with a terminal illness, who would you turn to for advice? Think of someone you have loved who has died. What could you keep in your pocket to remember them by? The minister that did my husband's memorial service, he lives in Minnesota. He is the most, now, I met him when we were both in Ohio. He brought a whole bag of, the little stones that you get, the precious stones like jade and
Yeah.
not the really expensive ones, but the ones that are like $10. You go to Yellowstone Park, you go to,
Yes.
he brought a whole bag of that and gave one to everybody and said, put this in your pocket, put it in your purse, so that when you reach in your pocket for coins, you'll rub that stone and that'll be your memory of Bob. So I have my stone in my purse. So every time I open my change, there's my stone. And I have a couple of stones, and I've shared that teaching, that gift with lots of other people. And it's a powerful way to say, we should never forget the people who have passed our way, who are no longer here on earth with us. We should find some way. So is it a poem that you stick in your purse? Is it a piece of music? Is it whatever?
Yeah.
So that question helps you to think, how do I want to be remembered? How do I want to do this better for the people that I love, to remember them? And
Awesome.
there are 33 questions just like that.
Wow.
So it's very thoughtful. Lots of laughter. When I've done this in large groups, you'll get this rolling through the room, for the couple of hours it takes. You just, and then you can say, okay, we only got to question 9.
Right.
Let's put it down. Let's come back to it next Saturday. And we'll just pick up, we'll ask question 1 and question 2 again, and then we'll pick up on question 10.
Yeah, because
we'll go as far as we can go that night.
Right. I could see that asking 33 at one sitting could be a lot. But asking 6 or 10 could be very doable. And then you can be thoughtful about just about that stuff in general. And then when you come back together, it's, I like that. I like, setting up different times to do it too.
Yeah. So Hello Game, common practice in Philadelphia.
I think we're going to be getting some.
$25.
Yeah.
If you want to have any of your listeners, call me, email me, send a post to you.
Yeah.
Figure out a way to get them to them.
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody wants to figure out how to, we'll get some, we'll figure out how to make it work, because clearly this is something you need to have, especially, it's holiday time. We've talked about that. It's a perfect time. Even if you're Zooming and having a TV turkey dinner, you could do it together online. Hello, we just did.
Yeah. And if any organization wants to do this, if any church wants to do this, any organization, any family, I'm a certified host for the game, of course. So
of course.
I am happy to set up the Zoom or the in-person, once we can do in-person, and help people to have this conversation, and then help people to take those next steps if they're ready to do that. So awesome. It's just fun. It's a fun game that has a lot of meaning and a lot of impact for people. So I'm so happy we got a chance to play together. Thank you so much for trusting me and sharing all of those things with me, Kelly. I so appreciate it.
As always, my favorite thing to do on a Thursday.
Wonderful. It's wonderful.
Right.
All right. We will
See
see
you,
you
my
next
friend.
week, everybody. Enjoy a week of 70 degrees.
Absolutely. Bye,
Happy
everyone.
weekend.